Vayishma Yithro, and Yithro heard everything that Hashem did for Moshe and Yisrael. The pasuk tells us that Yithro heard the news. He heard about the Makkos, he heard about Kriyas Yamsuf, he heard everything that Hashem did for both the Bnei Yisrael as well as Moshe. Rashi makes an observation that it seems as if Hashem did these various things, the miracles, the extraordinary events, for Moshe and Yisrael, as if to imply that the two were equal, Moshe and Yisrael. Says Rashi, that's in fact accurate. This in fact is coming to teach us a tremendous concept, and that is that Moshe was shakul, Moshe was equal to Yisrael. If you take Moshe Rabbeinu on one side of the scale, take the entire Jewish nation on the other side, they were equal. The Torah is teaching us by telling us that all of these miracles Hashem did for Moshe and for Yisrael. And if we think about this Rashi, I believe it becomes very, very difficult to understand. Because what this Rashi is telling us is that one human being was the equivalent of an entire nation. At this time in history, there were approximately 3 million people in the Jewish nation. Amongst them many Zikanim, amongst them many Tzaddikim. How is it possible that one human being, Moshe, as great as he may be, could possibly equal out to an entire nation? And I believe the answer to this question is predicated upon understanding the difference between physical and spiritual growth. Physical growth is very limited. A human being may be able to reach extraordinary heights in it, but at the end of the day it has a limited capacity. For instance, if we take an Olympic weightlifter, we might witness him take 1,000 pounds on a bar and in one fell swoop lift it over his head, a tremendous feat of strength. The reality is he didn't begin lifting 1,000 pounds. He began lifting small weights, but incrementally through progressive weight training, he trained his body, he built it up until his physicality has changed. He's now able to accomplish stupendous feats of strength. But here's the point. He and I are different on only one plane. He is a human being, a bit stronger than I, but I am a human being. He cannot bench press a freight train. If he were to play in traffic, the same result that would occur to me would happen to him. He's stronger than I, but we're basically equal. We're both basically on the same plane. And that is the difference between physical growth and spiritual growth. Spiritual growth is almost exponential. When a person grows in ruchnius, in his spirituality, the growth expands and expands, and it has almost no limit. If we were to borrow a mushal from the physical world, imagine that Hashem were to create a world strictly for the human's growth. Imagine that Hashem would make human much differently than He created us, and Hashem gave us the capacity to instantly grow. And imagine we had our man who went to the gym. He came in the first day weighing 150 pounds, and he put 100 pounds on the bar. He lifted those weights, and he became stronger. But because his body was created specifically to grow, by the next day he came into the gym no longer weighing 150 pounds, he now weighs 200 pounds. Therefore he puts 150 pounds on the bar this day and easily is able to lift that. But again, because he's been created to grow, and by the next day he comes into the gym weighing 300 pounds. Now it's easy for him to put 400 pounds on the bar. Each day, not only does he increase his muscle size, but the actual workload that he's accomplishing grows. So he exponentially grows until in a very short time, this man is lifting tremendous, tremendous feats, things that are physically impossible to even imagine. That is a mushal to spiritual growth. In physicality, we're limited. In the physical world, we're very, very contained, and we can only grow within very exact parameters. In the world of the spirit, in the world of ruchnius, we're able to expand and grow, and I become a bigger person. Once I become a bigger person, I'm able to lift more, I'm able to accomplish more, and then the work that I do is even more, and therefore causes even more growth. And that seems to be the answer for Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu was a unique individual in the sense that from the moment he came to a sense of understanding, he began growing and accomplishing, and he began using his potential to the fullest. Therefore, he began growing, but not just growing a little bit, not just growing by increments, growing exponentially. He went from 100 pounds to 200 pounds, from 200 pounds to 400 pounds, 4 to 8 to 16. He kept growing and growing until he was a humongous, a huge, huge powerhouse, to the extent that he equaled out the greatness of an entire generation. If you took 3 million people on this side of the scale, Moshe Rabbeinu on the other, he was the equivalent of them all. And this concept is a tremendous, tremendous lesson for us in terms of growth and potential. At the end of the day, relating to myself as the neshama, as the I who occupies the body, allows me to understand that I have limitless growth. I can expand, I can grow, I can become forever a tremendous individual. My body is limited. My body that I currently occupy has very, very contained parameters to it. However, my spirit, my neshama, which occupies this body, can grow and reach almost limitless capacity. That is why Hashem put us on the planet, and that is the ultimate greatness and accomplishments of the human.